Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of 7 Days of Summer, Lost Alpha. Last time, we had to put up with Semyon's chuddy behavior, but I'm hoping that today will be a new day. It's a new day for me, and I hope it's a new day for Semyon as well. Hopefully he has learned the error of his ways and can, talk to girls like a normal person. I'm not so sure about that, but we will definitely see. So let's just get straight into it. Oh, can't perspective change. Huh. Didn't think you'd see that one now, will you? Oh yeah, I forgot. I have to do voices. Right. Perfect, Semyon. Once come to your senses, march to the warehouse. Get yourself a mattress and bed sheets. A pioneer must take care of his own bed. I looked at Slavia. I'll meet you there. Convinced that nothing threatened my health, Slavia smiled and followed the nurse. I should also go. Settle down here for now. We'll find you a place later. Supper's scheduled to be later in the evening. Don't forget about that. Oh, what about the broth? Make your bed first, then go to the canteen. Squad leader stated categorically. Will you manage? I'll try. That's good. See you when it's supper. She fluttered out the door after Slavia. Where do I carry the clothes? I asked the void with a completely expected result. I successfully lost the coat on the bus, so it was up to the sweater. I immediately got rid of it, hung it on the back of the bed, and took off my shoes, vowing to myself either to get proper shoes to the weather or to go barefoot. I stayed in a single indigo denim t-shirt and wonder if it would be too provocative to wear such things in the Soviet camp. After a moment of thought, I decided that a t-shirt would be more appropriate in the summer than a sweater, even with the bourgeois inscription on the chest. Boy. In the end, the little one over there in the USSR shirt runs around, and everything's fine. How am I worse? I will commune the masses to woven cotton. Well, I can look for answers to questions on a full stomach. As in the very proverb about the fact that a Russian on an empty stomach does not want to think or do. And if it's full, he can't. I was walking along the path, and someone called out to me. Hey! I looked back. Oh, okay, Jesus. At least I'm good with dudes. I can do dude voices. That's for certain. Wow, the first male creature that I managed to meet. Please don't say anything about Amazons. A disheveled guy with scatterings of small freckles. Classic mid-face. We already have a Semyon, which means either Vasily or Sergei. Yep. Hello! He stretched out his hand. Nice to meet you. I'm Electronic. A real one. You can call me that. A real Electronic. Of goddamn course. And under his shirt, he's hiding a power plug. Cosplayer, right? The Russian land is not scarce with idiots. Got it. Ulyanka also calls me Zirayeshka. Judging by the disgruntled expression on his face, he categorically did not like this nickname. That's pretty accurate. You have to try hard to find a shroom like him. That's my last name, Zirayeshkin. Yeah, thought so. You just don't worry, okay? Unfortunately, his handshake was firm enough that I didn't have time to take my hand away, and he has already switched to a new topic. How can I not worry? We need to bring you bedding and show so much more in the camp to you. Let's go, faster. He turned to the right hand and, not looking to see if I was following him, rushed towards the square. Is it true that you came in winter clothes? I examined myself carefully. T-shirt, jeans, barefoot. Nah, lies and slander. That's what I thought too. This is Ulyanka spreading gossip again. Ulyanka's the one that... Small, red, mischievous. She in general has little credibility, but girls can believe. Oh, holy, this background wasn't in the original. After a couple minutes, we were already approaching a gray shed with a huge gate on the front side. Don't think it's just like that on the outside. Inside there's isolation and everything is clean. After all, there's not only bedding, there's also all kinds of inventories and skis and balls. Yeah. Skis? What, there are also winter shifts? I wasn't that lucky yet. They say it's a lot of fun here on New Year's Eve. They dress up Genda, they bring a Christmas tree from the land, a huge blue one. Oh, I wish I could see this. You'll manage eventually. He had already begun to frankly annoy me with his chatter, so I hastened to remind him of the purpose of the walk. Lead to your chatelaine, or whoever's in charge of your linens. We walked around the building and approached the wide open door. Through it, I could see a semi-dark room with 3-story wooden shelves, on each of which lay rolled-up mattresses. The filling was a pillow wrapped in a thin wooden blanket. Oh, hey guys, hold up, I'll come out soon. A few minutes later, a disheveled and blushing Slavia approached from behind the shelves, tugging at her clothes. Okay. Do you want to tell us something? Electronic carefully inquired. I stood in a stupor, as I always did when I accidentally found myself drowned into other people's secrets. I definitely don't understand something. Could you just bring me here and control the broth handout? The issuing of uniforms? The ironing of the shirt? The settling for allowance? And a whole bunch of other subtle moments? Slavia laughed when she saw my eyes square up. Oops. Apology accepted. Grab any bed you like. Okay. I'll iron out the uniform and put it in order. But for today, use your civilian clothes, alright? I responded with a nod. Oh, almost forgot. What's your shoe size? 45. Damn. Slavia looked at me strangely. More accurately, at my feet. Well, what'd you expect? I might... Shit! Currently, I'm way younger than my real self. How can it be 45th? Though it doesn't look like much has changed. Noticing my confusion, Slavia, without waiting for an answer, disappeared behind the shelves, and a minute later, returned with a pair of sandals. Anything's better than walking barefoot. Even if there are no drunken tourists throwing broken glass into the grass, there are always bumps and pebbles that are somewhat unpleasant to step on with bare feet. Try these. If they don't fit, I'll get another pair. Picked by eye? And don't wear socks yet. Put them on after you wash your feet. Thanks, Mom. However, Slavia's eye turned out to be trained. The sandals were just right. Without socks, of course, the sensation was not very pleasant. Feet stuck to the soles, and I will probably rub off a heel, but still better than barefoot. Thanks, Slavia. Have fun. A few minutes later, having dropped off bed in the square leader's house, I was already moving towards the square. Let's start the tour from the square. There are all our sites. Genda and... I skeptically raised an eyebrow. And... he looked lost. And suddenly lit up. And Lena! Look, Semyon! Lena! What the fuck? Okay. I wouldn't argue Lena is quite a prominent girl, but calling her a landmark... I stifled a laugh. Does she know what you just called her? Of course! She jumped up to the girl and started chattering. Lena, hello! This is the new guy! Say hello! And what is she supposed to say? Thoughts rushed around in panic. Hi. We already know each other, kind of. Yes. She looked up from her book for a second, looked at me, and immediately blushing to her ears, hid behind the book, trying her best not to notice our presence. I smiled involuntarily, that's how much her behavior resembled my own. But nah, I won't blush, I'm too old for that. But in general, the attempt to hide from the interlocutor is close and understandable to me. However, judging by the picture in the mirror, my old age remained on the frosty streets of the city. Okay, let's go further. There are still a lot of sites waiting. That's all, folks! It seems that it was enough for Electronic to say hello to a person to consider him almost a friend. And then there's me, who forgets the name of a person 5 seconds after it was spoken. It was nice to meet you, Lena. I shouted over my shoulder, carried on by the indefatigable figure. Jesus, that's tough. And I'm C3 English. Lena shuddered, and although it seemed fantastic to me, she blushed even more. So what other sites are on our seeing menu? Hold on. We're already approaching a new object of interest, as it was easy to guess from the squattish outlines in front of us was the canteen. Or mess hall, whatever the fucking is. And here we have... Yep, I already figured out, we intake organic foods here. The same joke from last time, you're serious? If Alisa appears here right now, the entire gameplay is over. We're done. You cannot just do the exact same thing you just did, okay? Fuck! On the porch stood a girl with red hair pinned into 2 tails. She accepted my flat witticism approvingly and even grinned. Holy! Oh my god! The explanation thing is back! I thought it was gone forever. That thing was never even there in the first time. Like, in the first game it was there, and then in the start of this gameplay, I never once saw it, even in the places where it was in the first one. But whatever, you know. I thought it was gone, and here it is. It's good to know it's back, you know. It really helped me out. Apparently, my jokes from Yevgeny Ivanich are going to be fairly popular. Yevgeny Petrosyan Vaganovich, Soviet-Russian comedian, often used as a synonym for unfunny jokes. And that is... The electronic said to a whisper that only the deaf would not hear. Aralisa, she's always in a bad mood. A fire girl, splashing girl. Is that mad? No, she's just... Her last name is Tvachevskaya, but if you try calling her Tvache, here we fucking go again. Get ready, folks. The rock music is about to play in 3, 2, 1. There it is. Okay, we have to find this girl a voice. Ah, Jesus Christ. Okay. This is difficult. I'm gonna be honest. What the hell did you just say? That was alright. I could have done better. Alicia immediately jumped off the porch and fuck, I forgot to read. Okay, we're back. I'm bad. I did a stupid. Ignore that. What the hell did you just say? Alicia immediately jumped off the porch and started heading our way. Alright, you're on your own now. What? I asked her with an excessively smart face. Electronic has already vanished, and I, for some reason, froze up and watched my imminent demise approach. Okay, hey, choice time, decision time. It's the same decision that we did last time. The same decision that we made in the first game. Run after him or do nothing. I don't know. We're not doing the Alisa route, so I don't think we necessarily have to talk to her. Then again, I don't know how the sort of point system works in this mod. I know in the original one you have to be absolutely perfect with your choices, or else you're not getting the good ending. With this one, I don't know. There's a lot more endings, so I assume each path has its own ending, or each the choices you make sort of switch up the timeline a little bit in a way that it doesn't in the first game, because the first game just relies kind of on points, and any choice that doesn't align with the route you're on subtracts points, or does nothing, or you just miss the points that you would have gotten if you had made the correct choice. In this one, I don't know. But you know what? Because I'm a nice guy, and because I value all my Slavia fags watching this video, I will do nothing. I'll just let her beat the fuck out of me. Coming up to me, she gave a particularly evil look from her arsenal. Oh, we'll also talk with you, alright? Who, me? I didn't do anything. I shrugged. Other people's problems definitely didn't concern me. I added a smile to the gesture. Somehow it looked guilty. Without honoring me with an answer, Dvachevskaya rushed after Electronic. And once again, nothing happened. Okay. Apparently no one will bother me, and the time before supper can be devoted to blissful idleness. Oh god. I hope this Semyon isn't as lazy as the first game, as the OG one. Because, the other one just did not want to do anything. Sometimes, I can grant you that sometimes Olga Dmitrievna was being a bit of a bitch on him, but he was also pretty lazy. And he should have expected to do some work. It's the fucking Soviet Union. You can't just do nothing all day. I randomly chose a direction and went to the side where elastic blows on the ball were heard, though we're obviously playing football there. Uliana time, I can only assume. Sometime later, I reached the place I was looking for, and sitting on one of the benches standing around the perimeter of the field, stared thoughtfully at the field. The match was in full swing, and I couldn't help staring. Once upon a time, I was good at handling the ball, but my priorities never included sports. Children briskly Children briskly rushed around the field. Congrats. But even from the constantly moving crowd, one stood out, the fastest, most restless. Oh, I immediately recognized the red-haired girl. That's true. Slavia didn't let her do dirty things, but you have to release the energy somehow. The ball rolled under my feet, and I, taking it on my foot, fired it back. Oh well, not my best shot. I've been there. Ah, fuck. I forgot. Oh, shit. Okay, voice time. Toot toot. Voice time. Let me think. Hey, you! The girl shouted. I think Slavia called her Uliana. Let's play! I pondered. Why not? On the other hand, playing in sandals and worn trousers. Maybe next time. You're boring. After verbally flattening me, she went back into the game. I got off the bench and, for a change, drew attention to the bar standing right there. Not too long ago, a certain word was popular. Workout, meaning the most trivial thing. Love for hanging at the metal bars. After watching a couple of videos on YouTube, I even began to hang on my horizontal bar in the yard, but quickly abandoned this idea. But before I wasn't that bad. I needed to see what kind of body they slipped over to me and whether it's able to pull itself up at least a dozen times. Fingers, unaccustomed to loads, did not want to fit correctly. Then the center of mass drifted somewhere. Finally, yelling at myself, I jumped up and hung on the bar, keeping my back straight, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. An entire chorus rang out behind my back. Startled and surprised, I unclenched my hands and flopped to the ground. Gah. The unnoticeably pulled up fans hummed it disappointedly. They'll give me a heart attack at this rate. I thought dissatisfiedly as I got up. I think it's just dissatisfied. Gonna continue? I won't. You haven't got your tickets. And you don't look like a clown to me. Little asshole. As if happiness isn't the number of pull-ups. I was just about to tell the redhead what I think of her and she should go when the horn was sounded. Race to the canteen. Last one's a rotten tomato. The children roared and pushing rushed towards the dining room. It's eating time. Oh boy, and I slowly followed them. UI time. God, we're still on day 1. This might take a while. Visiting the wash basins along the way and rinsing our hands with water that was cold to the point of aching fingers, we went into the dining room. Well, a canteen's a canteen. Long tables for 12 people lined up against the walls, tables a little shorter on the other side of the aisle so that the waiters with cards can get close and serve or clear the table. Tiled walls and floors, stainless steel chairs, and speakers on the ceiling in case it rains outside. Small tables stood apart, apparently for the staff. Behind one of them I saw a curvaceous girl about my age. Oh, friggin' crap. Previous. What? Your previous age. Oh god, not you again. Same. Looking closer, I recognized her as the nurse who examined me. Violetta, I think? Violetta nodded in greeting. Ah, crap, here we go. Okay. Place right next to her was occupied by the same cyan girl. She quickly smiled at me, catching my gaze, and returned to her plate again. So she wasn't a dream. Cool! Fuck you. I wonder how this camp treats turquoise-dyed hair. No, I don't know. It's fucking Soviet Union. There's no way they had that. There's no way they had dyed hair. Semyon, do not stand like a pillar, otherwise you'll be left without supper. I flinched in surprise. Squad leader crawled up completely unexpectedly to me. Let's see, where would be a good place for you? Tovachevskaya, stop right there! She grabbed the red lightning bolt, rushing to the promised mashed potatoes with a cutlet out of thin air. Those mashed potatoes were promised to us 3,000 years ago. Now what? What are you wearing? My uniform? I suppressed a laugh. It seems that the concept of uniform for Elisa was fundamentally different from the generally accepted. An extremely provocatively worn shirt held only by a knot just below the chest, a tie tied like a wristlet around the wrist, and 2 red lightning tails. Thanks, buddy. I saw. Gee, I wonder what's wrong with my uniform. It's exactly how a true pioneer should be. Fix your uniform, now. As you say. She slowly pulled the knot of her shirt. Elisa! What? Olga Dmitrievna thought a little and waved her hand. Whatever, just go. Alright, now we have to deal with you. The squad leader led me to a couple of tables that apparently belonged to my squad, and after a moment's thought, pointed to an empty seat next to the small red hair. Okay, so if there's more than just the campers that we meet in this camp, then I guess it only makes sense that we're all together and we all see each other so often because we're part of a squad. That makes more sense, I think. They didn't really explain that very well in the first game, so now we know. You'll be sitting here. Olga Dmitrievna, I have a stupid question. I turned to the squad leader, realizing that sitting next to the small demon will have consequences. Yes, it will. Yes, the recommendations of the kindest Dr. Viola should also be followed. Save all stupid questions until after supper. Sit down. Let's eat. Thus, the squad leader answered while she saw all these recommendations. Apparently, I've exhausted the quote of stupid actions for today, and since there was nothing better to do, I had to sit down. Trust me, I don't think you've exhausted that quota. You've got plenty more to make. In the end, what's the difference with whom to sit, as the contents of the play are more important to me, and not the environment. Hey! What do you want? Why didn't you play with us? I had wrong clothes. What, were you gonna play with your clothes? Uliana, don't bother him. The squad leader made a remark. Fine, sit down and eat. She winked and I turned to my plate. Only to find out that the color was gone. Here we go again, baby. They said it was going to be a different story. So far it's the same story, just with very ominous Chekhov's gun things introduced in the first act. Other than that, it's the same thing. Putting two and two together, taking her reputation into account, I turned to her. You snooze, you lose. You little... Okay, what's... That option is blank. Is that an option? Is that a glitch? I don't know. It is a very tempting choice, though. Also, this is more options than we got first time. In the original game, you either take the cutlet or you don't. In this one, you can ask for it, you can take it, or a secret third thing. I'm just gonna demand the cutlet. Right now, I'm just making choices based off of what I would do. Okay? Later, when I find a guide, if there even is a guide to 7 Days of Summer, I'll make all the right choices. Hopefully. I looked menacingly at her and held out a plate. Juliana, the cutlet. Now. I don't even have it. Look. She pointed to her plate when there was less than half the potato portion and, of course, not a single cutlet. You ate. Hold on. She instantly grabbed my plate and was gone. Chat, if you've already played Everlasting Summer, I think you know where this is going. Wonderful. In one supper, I lost both meat and garnish. Did anyone tell you that you're an idiot? Life is full of pain. Who is doing this? Oh, wait. That's probably his inner voice again. Whatever. A few minutes later, Ulyanka returned with a new portion. Feast! She placed some food in front of me. And remember my kindness. Thank you very much. I thanked her from the bottom of my heart, noting with the corner of my mind that the girl had already disappeared somewhere. It's a trap! Semyon! Don't do it! Semyon, don't eat the cutlet! She isn't as bad as I thought she was. Okay, the most important thing right now is proper and healthy nutrition. The fact that I hadn't eaten anything since morning made itself apparent, and I heartily poked the cutlet with a fork, getting ready to make my favorite dish mixed out of meat, mashed potatoes, and peas out of the splendor on a plate. I was about to bite off the blessed fragrant piece of meat when I suddenly noticed stirring on the plate. Looking down at my plate, I jumped back, launching the chair against the wall. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. Jesus Christ, is this thing alive? That is a lot more dramatic than the first game. What is this? A centipede? Alien larva? Some other alien bastard? I plopped down on the tiled floor with a scream. Okay, buddy, it is just a centipede. I mean, they are pretty big and poisonous and venomous, but you'll be alright. The unknown creature unhurriedly turned around and, choosing a direction, accelerating, rushed. Straight at me. Oh, good. Ah! Ah! With a loud cry, I took a running start, moving exclusively on all fours, and even succeeded until I finished with the back of my head hitting a wall. Pathetic. And the alien menace kept chasing me. Jokes are jokes, but for my hungry mind, it turned out to be too much. And everyone will be rewarded according to his sins. Juliana! In the silence that suddenly descended on the canteen, my cry was especially loud. And judging by the contented giggle that flew from the door, it reached the ears of the addressee. But when she saw the expression on my face, she burst out laughing at the top of her voice. The red meteor rushed through the door, sprightly taking a head start. The little shit jumped out with a lead of 10 meters, but that won't save her. I jumped out onto the porch and looked around. On the path to the square, a low shadow flickered and disappeared around the bend. At the same time, bushes crackled in the southeast somewhere towards the direction of the football field. Oh shit, choice time. Choice time, choice time. Okay, so which one is Juliana? Very good question. Square or football field? I mean, football field sounds like the obvious choice, which is why we're not going to make it.
How much can you run?
The legs feed the wolf, but today I run way more than I feed. There's a lot more animation in this one than in the original one. Gotta give props. For the whole day I haven't even drank water. Where could the power come from? And then there was this bastard. I haven't figured out very well what I'll do with Uliana when I catch up to her, but I'm sure it will be very slow and painful. Having run through the entire camp, I began to realize that somewhere I missed the victim. I stopped, angrily hitting a tree with my fist, and, bending over, tried to catch my breath. He should have stopped smoking. The time was already late, and I did not want to do something in the dark at all. If I didn't mix up anything, then here you can go to the clubs. What if I get lost? This would be an apotheosis of the loser. In the dark, especially from the rear, to try to recognize the building that you saw once in your life. Fortunately, my intuition did not disappoint, and the path led me exactly to the club building. I didn't even look there today. Maybe there it will be possible to at least figure out where I landed. I knocked on the door. Zero attention. A pound of contempt. Pulling on the door, I found a closet locked that had not been noticed until now. Oh well, I concluded. And thinking, I decided to take a walk to the gate. I knew it! I'm a genius! Sometimes, my genius it's almost frightening. I knew that would lead me to Slavia. I knew it. I'm just the smartest, most thoughtful man alive. Check out the shirt, by the way. It's a great one. I was startled. Who's there? My nerves are already bad enough, and then there are these silhouettes. No need, man. No need, man. I thought about where to get cigarettes. Chinese brand Oxtear Worldly. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that is. Would also work. I'm not picky. And considering I don't even have mine, they left along with the bus. Finally, I found you. A familiar voice. I saw you chasing hold on. I saw you chasing Uliana. Hurrah! Woo! Let's go, baby! That's what I've been waiting for! That's what I'm talking about! The interlocutor went out under the light of a lantern, and I finally saw with whom I had the honor of speaking. Slavia. I silently stared at the asphalt. She also gonna mock me now? Didn't catch her? No. Surprised by her participation, I melted a little. Lost her somewhere. That's not surprising. Nobody can. You're not the first one. If it's alright, Earth isn't big. And then it suddenly dawned on me. Were you looking for me? Yes. Why? You must be hungry, considering you missed supper. I wanted to read her an angry and proud rebuke in the spirit of, don't treat me like a child. However, the dreamy whale song of the stomach said everything that was needed. So far, it's still been the same as the original game. But, you know, I feel like that is because of the choices I made and not necessarily the game's fault. Because, like, I'm pretty sure if I had made different choices somewhere along that succession, I would have probably not gotten this. Savia laughed again. Let's go. We'll feed you. Yeah, it's that simple. Let's go and feed. Not that I was strongly opposed, but I didn't believe in charity. Well, then you're in the wrong country, my friend. But what about the schedule and all that? Canteen is closed. We'll think of something. The girl laughed. And what can you think of, I wonder? I grumbled. Feeding 100,000 suffering people with 3 loaves, as if you're a torrent tracker? You grumble like an old fart. The girl snorted. Shall we go? Yeah, sure, thanks. It was a sin to refuse such an offer. By the time we got to the square, it was already completely dark. And Slavia, for some reason, embarrassed, said, Look, it looks like the canteen won't do. Oh, who would have doubted, Miss Chatterbox? Shut up, Semyon, Jesus. I completely forgot, it's sanitary day there, so most likely everything that was left after supper was thrown away. In the Soviet Union? Excuse me, what the... Well, now I know for a fact they didn't do their research. Sorry. Uh-huh. Come on, man. I turned around and headed back. Is he stupid? Is he stupid? But didn't get far. Wait! She ran after me. Thank God. Is this man gonna make the exact same mistakes that he did in the last game? Because I don't I don't fuck with that. I could do an entire essay on why I fucking hate Semyon in the original game, specifically in the Slavia route, but but that sounds like a great video to upload another time. You didn't even finish listening. Where are you running like that? To sleep. Not that it was so pleasant to sleep on an empty stomach, but there wasn't anything unpleasant either. I just wanted to say that I have something left from the last parental day, if you want to stain. Charity it is. A freebie is a freebie. Buddy. If they give, take. If they hit, run. Slavia smiled and led me to the houses. Her house, which she shared with some unknown to me Zhenya, was located in the second street, and to get there, one had to go past the canteen. There was some noise coming from the canteen. Judging by the concentrated panting, someone was trying to get inside. I wonder if the choices on the storyline are a lot more straightforward in this one, because in the other one, you genuinely have to, if you want to get a good ending with someone, sometimes the decisions can be very counterintuitive, so to speak. At any other time, I would have passed, trying not to draw too much attention to myself. In the end, it's just none of my business. No, I'm serious. If theft thrives in your camp, you should not throw dogs on pioneers who do not want to get involved with a criminal element. Unfortunately, Slavia thought otherwise. Oh boy. Hey! She yelled. What are you doing here? The silhouette on the porch shuddered, stirred strangely, and fell apart into two uneven halves. Oh, there's two of them now. Great. It was a pair of redheads. Two people I've been warned for about 5 times to stay away from. And so, instead of heeding the warning, Uliana looked a little scared, but at least I immediately took the bull by the horns. What's all the noise, upstart? Don't worry, your flag won't run away from you. Thank you all. Get out. Slavia frowned. Alisa, do you realize that if you don't stop right now, I have to tell the counselor? I was tactfully silent somewhere in the periphery. So you're also a snitch. The redhead hissed, clenching her fists. That's a good thing. I've been thinking all day about who I should smack. Jesus Christ. Cover for Slavia. Glory to the Soviet Union. I pushed Slavia behind my back. Not that some kind of heroism started speaking in me, but there was a good opportunity to pay off all the debts at once. Hey, if he's not going to be a hero, I'm going to have to turn him into one. A Soviet hero. So that I wouldn't be looked at as if I borrowed money later on. You want to go in her stead? I don't want to fight, but I won't let Slavia get hurt. That's my boy. I raised that boy. I stood and looked Vachevskaya in the eye, and she made no attempt to harm me. Enough! Slavia shouted at us. There's no food in the canteen. Even if you break in now, you'll go hungry. Wait, why? Because everything's been thrown away. The only food there is flour and cereals. There's no cooked food there. Again, mind-blowing that the Soviet Union would just throw food away like that. Let me know if that's accurate, because I don't think so, at least not from what I've read. Today was sanitation day in the kitchen. Alisa considered the validity of Slavia's words and gritted her teeth. Then she muttered something obscene and, waving her hand to Uliana, disappeared into the darkness. And Slavia stood in front of me, looking angrily into my eyes. Fuck! Fuck! You shouldn't have, she told me. I shouldn't? I lashed out in response. What kind of assistant are you that allows one red-haired hooligan to turn herself around like that? I would have solved everything myself. She stubbornly shook her braids. By fighting? No, I would have... You would. Do you really want to quarrel with me because I decided to not just stand there? That is a Soviet hero right there, okay? The tables are turning. This is a Soviet hero in the making, and you better respect him when he becomes what I'm turning him into. Sorry, looks like I got a little carried away. The girl once again went up to the porch and checked the lock. So I think that went over swimmingly. It was closed. It seems that the bandits managed to achieve little before it scared them off. It's all good, she reported. Shall we go? There isn't much time left for sleeping. The conflict situation muffled the impulses of the belly a little, but now they've returned in full. I hastily nodded. Slavia? Okay, that's a lot of nothing. You know, in the original game, she has a room, and there is stuff in it. That's just, there's absolutely nothing there. Although I guess it kind of makes sense, because if they have to keep... It makes more sense the way they do it here than in the original game. Because, like, if they have to, you know, assign cabins to different people according to the terms, then there would be no reason for you to put your stuff up there if you're just going to leave in a week. Like, better if you just, like, have the empty cabins and people sleeping in there. That way, they're not personalized. I feel like it makes more sense that way. But who knows? And you know what? I'm just about hitting 30 minutes, so I'm going to stop there. Because it sounds like something cool is about to happen. Oh boy. So, yeah, we saved Slavia from imminent death, and I did a great job, and I'm very proud of myself, regardless of how thankful she might be about it. Trust me. If Semyon's not gonna put in his part, I'm gonna make him put it. Okay? So, thank you for watching today's episode. I hope you enjoy it. I'm supposed to say something about liking or subscribing, but I've completely forgotten what that might be. Maybe you're not supposed to like and subscribe? I'm not sure. I'll remember at some point. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of 7 Days of Summer. Lost Alpha. Interesting subtitle there. Bye-bye.